Most people are one bad month away from financial panic. One unexpected bill, one job loss, one medical expense, one car repair, and everything falls apart. Sound familiar? Because for most people, it is. But here's what nobody tells you. Running out of money isn't bad luck. It isn't because you don't earn enough. It isn't because life is unfair. Running out of money is a math problem, and math problems have solutions. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you 4 rules that, when followed together, make running out of money nearly mathematically impossible. Rule number 1 will reset how you think about financial security. Rule number 2 is the allocation system most people never use. Rule number 3 is the most underrated financial tool nobody talks about, and most people have never even heard of it. And rule number 4 is the math that makes money last forever. Let's get into it. Before the rules, let's talk about why most people run out of money in the first place. Because it's probably not what you think. It's not income. It's not bad spending habits. It's not even unexpected expenses. It's the order. The order in which money moves through your life determines everything. Here's how most people handle money. They earn, they spend, and then they save whatever's left, which is usually nothing. Here's how the people who never run out of money handle it. They earn, they save, and invest first, and then they spend whatever remains. Same income. Completely different result. Let me show you what this looks like with real numbers. 2 people. Both take home $4,000 a month. Person A earns, spends, saves whatever is left, usually around $50 to $100 a month, sometimes zero. Person B earns, automatically moves $800 into savings and investments first, then spends the remaining $3,200. After 10 years at 8% annual returns, Person B has over $139,000 saved and invested. Person A has roughly $6,000 on a good year. Same income, same 10 years, one change in order. That one shift is the foundation everything else is built on, and it leads directly to rule number 1. Rule number 1. Build your income floor. Your income floor is the minimum level of income you need to cover your basic needs. And the goal is to make sure that floor exists even if your job disappears tomorrow. There are 2 steps to building it. Step 1. The emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of living expenses, in cash, sitting in a savings account. Not invested, not locked away. Accessible, let's say your monthly expenses are $3,000. That means your emergency fund target is between $9,000 and $18,000. This is not exciting money. It doesn't grow fast, it doesn't make you feel rich, but it is the difference between a financial emergency and a financial catastrophe. Without an emergency fund, one bad month wipes out everything you've built. With one, you have 3 to 6 months to solve the problem without panic. Step 2. The passive income layer. Once your emergency fund is in place, you start building income that arrives whether you work or not. This doesn't need to be big to start. Even $200 a month in passive income changes the psychology of money completely. That's $2,400 a year, arriving on its own. Not because you showed up, not because you worked extra hours, just arriving. Dividends from index funds, a small rental income, digital products, a side asset that generates returns. The moment you have income that doesn't require your time, you've started building a floor that holds even when life pushes back. And that floor is what prevents the panic. Rule number 2, the 50-30-20 system. This is the money allocation framework that takes the guesswork out of spending and builds savings on autopilot. Here's how it works. 50% of your take-home income goes to needs, rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, the essentials. 30% goes to wants, dining out, subscriptions, entertainment, travel, the things that make life enjoyable. 20% goes to savings and investments. Non-negotiable. First, automated. Gone before you can spend it. Let's run the real numbers on a $4,000 take-home month. $2,000 goes to needs. $1,200 goes to wants. $800 goes directly into savings and investments, automatically. Now, here's where it gets powerful. That $800 a month invested at 8% annual returns over 10 years becomes $139,000. Over 20 years, $471,000. Over 30 years, over $1 million. From $800 a month, automated, on a $4,000 take-home salary. Now here's the version most people live. They save last. Whatever is left after needs and wants, which is usually $50, sometimes zero. Sometimes they dip into savings instead. After 10 years of saving $50 a month at 8% returns, they have $8,700. Same income, $139,000 versus $8,700. The only difference, the order, and whether it was automated. The automation is everything. You cannot spend what you never see. Set it up once, let it run, and in 10 years you will not believe the difference. Rule number 3, and this is the one almost nobody talks about, the financial buffer. Now before you say, isn't that just my emergency fund? No, they are different things entirely. Your emergency fund is for genuine emergencies. Job loss, medical bills, major unexpected events. You don't touch it unless something serious happens. The financial buffer is different. It is 1 month of your normal spending sitting in your checking account all the time as a baseline. So if your monthly expenses are $3,000, you keep $3,000 in your checking account as a permanent floor. You never spend below that line, ever. Here's why this changes everything. Without a buffer, every unexpected expense, a car repair, a higher electricity bill, an unplanned purchase creates a psychological crisis. Your account drops low. You panic. You make bad decisions. You might overdraft. You feel behind. With a buffer, that same unexpected expense barely registers. You have the money. You pay it. You rebuild. No panic. No crisis. No bad decisions made under financial stress. Let me show you the math. Person A has no buffer. They have $200 in their checking account at the end of each month. One $500 car repair sends them negative. They pay overdraft fees. They put it on a credit card. They pay interest. One small emergency costs them $600 when all is said and done. Person B has a $3,000 buffer. One $500 car repair reduces their buffer temporarily. They feel it, but they are not in crisis. They rebuild the buffer over the next 2 months. Total cost of the emergency, $500. No fees, no interest, no panic. Same emergency. Completely different financial and psychological outcome. The buffer does something else that is hard to measure but impossible to overstate. It makes you feel like you always have money. That feeling changes how you make decisions. You stop making expensive fear-based financial choices. You think clearly. You spend intentionally. Build the buffer. Protect it. Never spend below it. It is the single most underrated tool in personal finance. Rule number 4, the growing income system. Here is a financial truth that most people never think about. Your expenses will grow over time. Inflation makes sure of that. At 3% annual inflation, the historical average, your cost of living doubles roughly every 24 years. The groceries that cost you $400 a month today will cost $800 a month in 24 years. The rent that costs $1,500 today will cost $3,000. If your income stays flat or grows slower than inflation, you will eventually run out of money. It is mathematically inevitable. The only solution is to build income that grows automatically. And the most reliable way to do that is to invest consistently in assets that historically outpace inflation. The stock market, specifically broad index funds, has averaged roughly 8% annual returns over the long term. Inflation averages 3%. That 5% gap is your financial breathing room. That gap is what keeps you ahead. But here's the part that makes money last forever: the 4% rule. The 4% rule is based on decades of financial research. It says that if you withdraw no more than 4% of your investment portfolio per year, your portfolio will last indefinitely. Because historically, investment returns outpace that 4% withdrawal rate over time. Let's run the numbers. $500,000 portfolio, 4% withdrawal. That's $20,000 per year, or $1,667 per month, that you can take out every single year without ever touching the principal. $1 million portfolio, 4% withdrawal, that's $40,000 per year, $3,333 per month, indefinitely. That is the math that makes running out of money in retirement nearly impossible. Not luck, not a pension, not hoping Social Security covers it. Math. The goal is not to save money. The goal is to build a portfolio large enough that 4% of it covers your needs, and then let it run forever. That is how money stops running out. Not by spending less forever, by building more, consistently, until the math works in your favor permanently. So let's put all 4 rules together. Rule 1, You have an emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of expenses, $9,000 to $18,000 sitting in cash. And you're building a passive income layer, even $200 a month, that arrives whether you work or not. Rule 2, you're running the 50-30-20 system. $800 a month automated into savings and investments before you spend a single dollar on wants. Every month, without thinking about it. Rule 3, you have a 1-month buffer in your checking account. A permanent floor you never spend below. Emergencies cost you money, but they never cost you your stability. Rule 4, your investments are growing at 8% while inflation runs at 3%. You're building toward a portfolio where 4% covers your needs, where your money generates income forever. Now, picture the financial life of someone who follows all 4. They don't panic when an unexpected expense hits. They don't lie awake wondering how they'll cover next month's rent. They don't dread losing their job because their income floor holds without it. Their money is working while they sleep. And every year, they are further from running out and closer to never having to worry again. That is not a fantasy. That is math, applied consistently. Over time. Now let's go back to where we started. Most people are 1 bad month away from financial panic, but now you know the math, and the math has a solution. Build your income floor, allocate with the 50-30-20 system, protect your buffer, build a growing income that outpaces everything life throws at it. 4 rules. That's all it takes. Here's what to do this week. Open a separate savings account and start your emergency fund. Even $500 to start. Set up 1 automatic transfer of any amount into an investment account. And calculate your 1-month buffer number. And start building toward it. Small steps. Real math. Compounded over time. Running out of money is a math problem, and now you have the solution. If this video gave you the system you've been looking for, subscribe. Because every week we break down exactly how money really works, with real numbers and zero fluff. And if you want to know the single best investment account to start building your income floor right now, don't forget to subscribe.